everyone, today I have some good news. Magic Vertex Painter will be updated to version 5.0.0. Let me just start the demo for you. If you have your own terrain, click Paint Object. First, paint the grass color, then click the C1 channel button. Check the wireframe box to make painting easier. Click the C2 channel button. To the right of the C2 button, we can adjust the RGB colors. You can also use Blender's built-in brushes, either the one at the bottom left or the one at the top left. If you want to see how to use colors, you can check my first video that I published earlier. Click Eraser to erase the color. Click Draw to paint the color. Click Blur to soften the edges of the color. Click the C1 channel button and blur the edges of the grass on the left side. Click the Assets Model button to import plants. For the C0 channel, choose the plant model we just imported. The min scale and max scale sliders are used to adjust the size of the plants. The density slider adjusts the plant density. The vertical growth slider makes plants grow vertically, so they appear more natural. The three sliders to the right of the rotate label are used to adjust rotation along the X, Y, and Z axis. If you enable the wind effect, these three XYZ sliders will change into Wind 1 and Wind 2 sliders. I'll explain the wind effect shortly. The C slider is used to adjust the position of the plants. Click this wind-like icon button. This is the wind toggle. After turning it on, click play to see the wind effect. At the same time, the three XYZ sliders to the right of the rotate label will change into Wind 1 and Wind 2 sliders. The Wind 1 and Wind 2 sliders are used to adjust the wind speed. Switch to the C1 channel and select the other plant we just imported. Adjust the vertical growth slider to make the tree grow vertically. The RGB sliders in the C1 channel adjust the ground color for the trees. This black and white mosaic icon button is a new feature in version 5.0.0. It allows you to use a black and white image as a template for the terrain. You can also create a black and white PNG in Photoshop and import it. When using a template, make sure to first unwrap the UVs or click the Unwrap UV button. If you don't want to use the template, just click the button again to turn it off. We can adjust the ground color in the UI panel using the ground color ramp. Channels C0 to C9 also support the use of template images. Let me show you how it looks after using the template. If you don't want to use the template, just click the button again to turn it off. Channels C0 to C9 also have 4 new textures: noise, Voronoi, wave, and brick. Please note this button. It can switch between 3 modes. Noise and the others are texture-oriented, mix blends between the 2 sides, and template is template-oriented. Let me show you how to paint rocks in a channel. The UI panel now includes textures and mapping settings for channels C0 to C9. The texture settings allow you to adjust the appearance of that channel. Each channel from C0 to C9 can switch between 4 textures: noise, Voronoi, wave, and brick. Click this button to switch to template mode, which focuses on templates and RGB colors. You can also adjust the colors of the 4 textures for channels C0 to C9 here. In the color ramp, click Add to add another color. We'll demonstrate using a template image for the ground. Adjust the ground color until you're satisfied. Click the C2 channel button and set the button above to use the Voronoi texture. Remember to click the draw button before painting. Check Normalize, and in the Texture drop-down menu, switch F1 to Distance to Edge. We can adjust the texture location and rotation in the mapping settings for channels C0 to C9. Earlier we only demonstrated the template effect. Now, let's turn off the C0 template. Change the C0 channel color to the noise texture color. Switch back to the C2 channel and the Voronoi color for the rocks. Use the color ramp to adjust the Voronoi rock color. You can also adjust the strength and distance sliders for channels C0 to C9 to control the rock's bump effect. Click Blur to soften the edges of the rocks. Click the new C3 channel and paint a river, choosing blue for the RGB color. Draw a blue river. Click Blur to soften the edges of the river. Earlier we demonstrated the C1 template. Now, let's switch the C1 channel to the noise color. Adjust the C1 texture's ground color using the color ramp. Click the C4 channel button and use this template to draw a road. Remember to click the Draw button before painting. Draw a road. Adjust the color of the stone road. Switch the button to Noise. Tweak the noise texture until it looks the way you want. Also adjust the noise color ramp for the stone road. The other empty area also uses the new C5 channel. Import any plant of your choice, and select it in the C5 channel. Adjust the plant's density and size. Demonstrate using a template for this channel. Use the C6 channel for the other half of the empty area. Demonstrate using the Voronoi texture on the C6 channel. Switch to the noise texture. In the C6 channel, adjust the noise texture color using the color ramp. Click blur to soften the edges of the grass in this channel. Switch to the C3 river channel, and we can add some aquatic plants to the river. Adjust the aquatic plants. Click the wind button to add a wind effect to the aquatic plants. The reason the plants look dull is that their transparency isn't high enough. In Cycle's Render Light Path Transparent, set the slider to 256. Painting is complete. Next, let's add some other models. Click the Other Model button to add a model. For the functions of the convert to mesh, separate, and bake buttons, you can check my first video published on YouTube. This video is just a simple demonstration. Actually, creating a more exquisite scene depends on your creativity. Finally, thank you all for watching and supporting.